I walked away.
You walked away from 100 bands?
100 bands. I'm gonna tell you why. I don't like to say repair because if you repair something, that means it's broken.
It's broken.
Your credit is not broken, brother. It needs to be restored. So the credit restoration process is more than just letters and typing and phone. It's mindset, bro.
That's what we think.
You took my information without my permission and you profited from it. That is the exact definition of identity theft. The problem is, if we're not consumers, we don't know how to pursue that. We're always told the customer is always right. I realized that credit was an industry that is killing our people, but also benefiting such a large amount of other people.
Come on.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a statistic that says that 69% of the population have a credit score of 600 and below.
Yeah.
But it's 850s out there. Once you understand that you're the consumer in this corporate situation with the credit industries, it changes everything.
Now you can shift your paradigm.
Ooh.
I'm in control.
Ooh, I'm in control. What would your business be without me? See, the customers, the bank, the lenders, the dealers, they're the customer.
What do you want people to feel about where you're going and what you're doing and why you're doing it?
Yo, man, that almost got emotional. When we say bureau, we think Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah.
But they're not a bureau. They're a corporation like Walmart, Apple, and Google.
Yeah.
They have CEOs. Their net worth is currently in the billions. We're talking $33 billion.
Come on, sir.
If we're not the customers, we don't buy anything from Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, where they getting their money from, D? But here's the interesting thing about debt. In the law, 15 USC 1681. Y'all copy that, right? You can go look at the congressional findings and you'll realize that the law says debt is the alleged obligation. That means the only way that it can be considered your obligation is if you do what? Accept it. I gotta see what's in your head. Because your credit report is not the problem. It's your habits. So every single one of my clients have to go through a transformation while they're working with me. Does that make sense?
That's personal development.
Yeah. We're living a life of depression and stress based off what we're consuming on social media. People say if you knew better, you would do better, but that's a lie. And it's a lie that we've been told for so long. A lot of people know how to do better, brother, but they still choose not to. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so look, Peace and Grace Kingdom family, it's Darius Dior. It's Thinking Kingdom Media, where we have real conversations with real people and we share real music here. Today, I got a tremendously special guest. I had to add the tremendous.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to say this real quick about you, man, because when we come here, I don't be giving people their accolades. I let you do it, right?
Okay.
But I can sell water to a well, right?
Right.
And so when people can really hook me and sell me, I pay attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the salesman. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you, yeah.
So it's an honor and a pleasure, man, to have my brother on here. But for the people that don't know you, that have never seen you before, can you tell us who you are real quick, man?
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm go by the name of King Leo, man. And first of all, big shout out to you, D.
Salute.
Appreciate you for having me on here, man.
No
Look,
doubt.
it's King Leo on all searching platforms, man, and you'll be able to find your boy out there. So yeah, it's as far as my accolades, you know, I'm into the credit industry. I've been in credit for over 7.5 years.
Okay.
Also partnered with my wife. We do real estate as well. And we're mostly focused on educating our culture, educating our people. You know what I'm saying? We also are entrepreneurs and we help people get into passive income streams to build generational wealth, bro.
Got you. So that's heavy, right? That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? In that, there's so many breakdowns and understandings that people got to really capture. Yeah. You was talking recently about, you know, some of this stuff, and that's why I'm really excited to have you here. Yeah. But usually when I ask people, you know, who they are, just tell the people who you are. Yeah. I'm really asking them how you be, right? Like, do you be hustling? Do you be grinding? Do you be in CEO mode? Do you be, you know, scamming? Do you be stealing? You know what I'm saying? Like, this the place where you can just be like, look, flat out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what it is, right? Like, and and really I'm asking like how you be and how you doing right now, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
but then
man.
also like, how is it to really work with you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And really be up close to Ty. You know
Yo,
what I'm saying?
man, that's a great question, first of all. So I appreciate that question. So basically, how I be. That's a great question because how I be is also the answer to who I am. So a lot of people don't know the difference between the two.
Yeah.
I'm not a physical being. I am that I am, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how I be is I'm a multimillionaire, you know what I'm
Come
talking
on,
about? And I'm an
already.
educator, you feel me?
Already.
I'm an educator. So what I do is
Already.
I learn, I consume, right? I digest because I know that if I take this information and I put it in my way, right? And I do it over and I reconstruct it to give it to my people, my audience, it's going to change lives. And so I was introduced to it through, you know, family relations, and we're talking about credit for right now, right?
Right.
Because this is where it all started. So I want the audience to know where it all started for me. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead. I love it.
Isn't it a fact that we're always told the customer is always right?
100%.
Okay, so if we understand that,
100%,
right?
yeah.
That's what I would call a paradigm. And so there are a lot of paradigms that are given to us without our choice.
Right.
Here's another one. Money is the root of all.
Evil.
It's lonely at the
Top.
The more money, the more
Problems.
dude, these are paradigms that's given to us. And so when we adapt those things and live by those things, we tend to follow the same patterns as our ancestors and the people behind us.
That's right.
So I say that to say this. I realized that credit was an industry that is killing our people, but also benefiting such a large amount of other people.
Come on.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a statistic that says that 69% of the population have a credit score of 600 and below.
Yeah.
But it's 850s out there. So I got into the industry because my credit was jacked, bro. And I went through the TikToks, the Facebooks, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know,
all
signed
the
up, all the gurus,
all the
right?
gurus.
And it's sad to say, you know, I got burnt, straight up. I tell you, for the people that don't understand, I got burnt. I paid $1,500. I was supposed to get this fly treatment. I was supposed to have a 700 and a quick turnaround, and I ain't see no results. Go back to the page no longer available. Yeah, I got caught out there. And I didn't give up, you know what I'm saying? I called a few people, yo, dude.
I mean, so you said they did absolutely nothing for you.
Nothing. Straight burnt me. And they sent me other people results. Like when I first was talking to them, they sent me 700s, they sent me deletions, they sent me these images, and I'm seeing these screenshots, and I'm like, oh, nah, they the truth. Let me tap in. I needed the credit. I couldn't finance a pack of gum, bro. So I needed it. I spent 15 with these people, and they dipped on me. I'm talking about page gone, no phone numbers. And so some people like, yeah, you was gullible, but no, that was me wanting to change.
Yeah.
So it forced me to go learn, D.
Yeah.
It forced me to go learn. I wasn't going to pay nobody else because I realized that these laws are in books, which they say they hide information from us. So it's in the books, right?
I mean, so you didn't learn nothing along the way to the end of the scam? Like,
Yo, dude.
I'm trying to figure out what kept, like, because at some point you get to the place where you like, okay, this is not,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. So let me help you. And this is for all of the people that's in this industry. You're going to be told, yo, it's going to take 3 months. It's going to take 6 months. See what I'm saying? This is credit, y'all. So when he telling me, yo, trust me, my score was a 474. I keep it transparent, 474. And I was a single father at the time, and I needed to get an apartment. I didn't have the credit to get the apartment. I had money, but they kept saying, I'm gonna run your credit score. So I'm like, all right, dude, like, look, it's gonna take us 90 days. We're gonna get you into the 700. I ain't know no better. So I'm like, all right, how much I gotta pay? It's like, yo, all right, you give us 1,500. This is what's gonna happen first. You're gonna get some letters from the credit bureaus letting you know that we ain't doing the dispute.
Doing the work, yeah.
And then you'll start seeing the results. So I'm, all right, cool. Yo, bro, I took my savings. I put that money up. And so when you like, yo, you ain't start noticing something? Nah, because I'm waiting. I'm waiting, right? And then I get the letter saying we received something, but it don't look like it came from you, and we're not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
So what's this? I call him, yo. He answers, oh, don't worry about that. That's just a stole letter. Okay, boom, about 60 days in. Now the number's busy, always busy, busy. Now I'm texting, no response. Now I'm emailing. Now I go to the webpage, gone. So I was burnt before the 90 days. But again, I say all of that because once I got into learning the information, remember I asked you earlier in this conversation about the paradigm of the customer's always right?
Right.
So when it comes down to these corporations, and you think about Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax,
Right.
who are we to them? Are we the customer? So let's think about that. If a farm produces the cows and the milk, and then the supermarket buys the milk, and then we come buy the milk from the supermarket, who are we?
We the consumers.
We are the consumer.
Right.
Once you understand that you're the consumer in this corporate situation with the credit industries, it changes everything.
Now you can shift your paradigm.
Ooh.
I'm in control.
Ooh, I'm in control. What would your business be without me?
Come on.
What you gonna do with that milk if I don't drink it? You understand what I'm
What
saying?
are you actually gonna do?
What are you actually gonna do with that phone if I don't make a phone call? What are you gonna do with this apartment if I don't live in it?
Yeah.
What you gonna do with this credit card if I don't swipe it? So when I understood that, I realized that as a consumer, the consumer is always right, not the customer. See, the customer is the bank, the lenders, the dealers. They're the customer. And so if we say they're always right, this is why we're always fighting against them. But the fight is not against them. The fight is with the bureaus, excuse my language, the consumer reporting agencies. Because everything is about languages in this business.
Yeah, right.
When we say bureau, we think Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah.
But they're not a bureau. They're a corporation like Walmart, Apple, and Google.
Yeah.
They have CEOs. Their net worth is currently in the billions. We're talking $33 billion.
Come on, sir.
If we're not the customers and we don't buy anything from Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, where they getting their money from, D? I'm gonna break it down for the viewers, man.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna break
Talk
it
to
down.
us, man. Where they getting this money from?
How did you get this money?
Yeah.
All right, check this out. When did you send your social security number to any three of those companies and say, create this report about me with my name?
I never did that.
Oh!
I never did that. So when they call me, I'm like, who? What?
What?
I don't even know who you are.
Where did you get my information from? Here's a better question. So then you have Credit Karma, who comes out of nowhere, and now they're this app that everybody downloads that now they have your information.
So they're selling and buying information.
It gets worse. So they're selling and buying information, bro. Now you understanding why it changes everything with the paradigm. So if they selling and buying information, you gotta ask, whose information? So we just came up with the theory and understanding that you never sent your social to any three of those companies to say, create this quote unquote report. Now they're selling that report and making money from the things that's on that report. What is the definition of identity theft?
What we know is that you've stolen my identity. That's what we think the
You
definition.
took my information without my permission and you profited from it. That is the exact definition of identity theft. The problem is, if we're not consumers, we don't know how to pursue that. If we're not consumers, we don't know how to talk to the debt collector when they contact us. There are things that happen behind the scenes, and when you're thinking from the wrong perspective, you don't know how to handle it. But for example, debt collector calls, hey, this is such and such looking for such and such in regards to such and such. Most people, they'll ignore the call, right? Or they'll say, yeah, this is me, I don't have the money for that right now, and I'll work on a deal. Can we do a payment arrangement, D? But here's the interesting thing about debt in the law, 15 USC 1681. Y'all copy that, right? You can go look at the congressional findings and you'll realize that the law says debt is the alleged obligation. That means the only way that it can be considered your obligation is if you do what? Accept it.
So that would mean that they would need record of my acceptance of this debt.
Ooh, yes, they would.
So if there's no record of acceptance of the debt, it really doesn't exist.
It really doesn't exist until I say it does.
Or if I make a payment on it.
See, but a payment could be made electronically, which still doesn't confirm that it came from me.
Ooh.
See, people forget that before technology, bro, there was what we call the wet ink signature. The power of a wet ink signature could determine your life or your death. Let's think about that for a second. If a judge writes a decision down on paper, that can seal your faith. So what we're talking about is your signature. If you look at any important document in today's society, it requires your signature. And what happened is that with technology and people wanting to be lazy, they said, let's come up with this platform that allows people to skip coming into the office and physically signing, and let them just click a button and let's create a digital signature to make this thing go by faster. Okay, fair enough for the parties that agree. But what about the parties that don't agree to that? For example, if I didn't physically sign this, I don't know how this got signed because we're dealing with hackers. Let's do this. So if I give you a check right now, D, and you signed the check, endorsed it, I endorsed the check and I gave it to you, you can go cash that, correct?
Right.
But if you make a copy of that check, can you go cash it?
Nah.
Wow. So you mean to tell me that once you copied that original signature, it's no longer, all right, we ain't got to talk about that no more.
So hear me out real quick.
Talk to
right?
me, brother.
And I asked, all of this came from me asking him how he be. And obviously there's a wealth of knowledge. There's no prompt here, guys. Like, this is straight knowledge. And the other part of that is how it is to work with you. Just listening to you talk, man, you're gonna be there for me, is what I hear.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But when I look at, like I said, just the credit game, right? There's a lot of stigmas attached to it. And people like me are afraid, right? Because I work hard for my money and I want to get my credit right.
Facts.
Right? I want to correct what my thing is. So what you would be doing if I hired you to be my credit coach, part of me thinks that you would be coaching me on how to pay my bills and how to pay my debt down to correct what I got going on and helping me become more financially literate.
That's deep.
Right? That's what my mind says that you are in the service and the value that you bring. Right? Like, but I may be wrong, right? And I know also just it's hard to tell people what to do with their money.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
it is.
And I'm saying all this to ask you, like, what is it that you would do exactly? What would you assess first? Okay. Right? You know what I mean? Like, take me through your process as the consumer of the service that you provide.
That's dope, man.
What is it that you're gonna do?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's a great question, bro. And I got you. So I get those phone calls like, yo, Leo, you know what I mean? My credit bad, you know what I'm saying? I need your help, right? So it starts from the consultation, right? We gotta sit down and assess everything.
Yeah.
But see, sometimes people think we're gonna talk about what's on your account and what's on your report. I just told you that report is made up. I gotta see what's in your head. Because your credit report is not the problem. It's your habits.
Yeah.
If you look me up, bro, it's coaching. I'm giving you nuggets. I'm like, so I just wanna have a one-to-one with you, right? And typically most people, when it comes into the credit business, like you said, you're nervous, you're a little fearful, stigmas. So let's vibe, let's talk. That's the first thing we're gonna do on the consultation. Now, my consultations are not free, you know what I mean? Because like you just said, in this one conversation, I'm gonna pour into you so much that even if you decide not to work with me, you like, man, I'm a consumer.
I'm a consumer.
You feel me?
I'm a consumer.
Once we get on there, bro, I literally, and I got clients that are 10 times back this up, bro, we're gonna deep dive into what's on that report. And now that you understand you're a consumer, on this first call, I'm gonna show you the inconsistencies and discrepancies within your report. I'm talking about from the name spelt wrong, to the address wrong, to old employers, to one date says last payment 2025, but the other date say last payment 2021. How's that possible? Like, we deep dive through every account. Now, after we've identified 30, 40, 50 different inconsistencies, the question is always, okay, how long is it gonna take to get this fixed? That's what I always get. And I say that depends on you. And this is what I would tell you, D. That depends on you. Because there are more things that go with credit restoration. I don't like to say repair because if you repair something, that means it's broken.
It's broken.
Your credit is not broken, brother. It needs to be restored. So the credit restoration process is more than just letters and typing and phone. It's mindset, bro. So every single one of my clients have to go through a transformation while they're working with me. Does that make sense?
That's personal development.
Yeah.
That's life coaching, Ty.
Yeah. PGSD is what I call it.
Come on.
Personal growth and self-development. You know what I mean?
That's personal development, sir.
Yeah. Because once you see it differently, the work is already done.
Yeah.
I have some metaverse mentors. Big shout out to all of y'all. And one of the things that I remember hearing is, if I give you a fish, you eat for the day. But if I teach you how to fish, you eat for a lifetime. So I say, even if I'm gonna do it for you, you need to know how I did it.
Yeah.
Because if you see how I did it, watch me do it, it builds the faith and belief in you that you could do it. So that's what we're gonna go through right out the gate. And I'll be honest, everybody can't do that. You know,
everybody can't do that.
Oh, D. Some people like, yo, man, I got 5,000 right now, man. Just go ahead and get it done.
Look, what you need? Look, I gotta go.
Yeah, bro.
Right,
Yeah.
and so look.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
You got fired.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Why they fire you?
Yo, man, that was this. All right, so listen, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. First of all, let me make sure that's clear. So, can I get a story?
Yeah, man, give me the story.
Give me the story.
I got fired too. They laid me off.
Right.
I tried to go get another job. I got fired.
Yeah,
so
bro.
I said, you know what, God?
Yeah, bro.
What you telling me is,
yo,
I gotta go out here and do this myself. All right.
This is a quick but powerful story.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I started in that job 2019. A cousin of mine told me like, yo, you know, you from New York, this the South, you could go in there and crush it. So I'm like, what you talking about crush it? They like, yo, they in there making 6 figures on entry level. So I'm like, I expect you crazy? Like, yeah. So I go in there, bro. I go in there, bro. I find out it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I said, yo, you the top earner. How much money you made in your, in the last year? She was like, oh, last year, 170. Hold on. And this role right here,
doing
like,
this.
yeah. I said, all right, I'm gonna make my first 100,000 at this job. I did it, D. So
Got
my
you 100
life,
bands.
109 to be exact on a W-2.
At Spectrum.
At Spectrum.
Net.
Listen, you hear that? You understand me, okay?
Net.
That's when my life changed though, because I quit.
You quit?
Yeah, I quit. I walked away.
You walked away from 100 bands?
100 bands. I'm gonna tell you why. My grandfather was going through sickness at the time in New York, and my family kept calling me like, yo, you need to get with him. He might be on his last legs, this, that, and the third. So, I'm an agent. I'm like, look, I gotta go see my grandpops. I made one trip to New York, came back. They're like, yo, he's back in bad shape. The job told me, if you wanna be successful at this job, you're gonna have to put your family behind you. I said, word? She was like, yeah. I was like, all right, the next
Wait a minute, who said that?
I ain't gonna say her name, but she was the boss over everybody.
At
She was
Spectrum.
the director, correct, at Spectrum. This is what she told me. She
You
was
would
like,
have to really tap in.
listen, if you wanna be successful at this business, you gonna have to put your family behind you. This is
I'm
what she
trying to
told me.
understand. We work in a 9 to 5, you pay me a salary.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it,
Yeah, you
right?
feel this?
I'm feeling. I'm trying to get it.
Yo, the next day, D, I came in the office with the Home Depot box. She like, you quitting? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? Because I could never put nobody else's job before my family. Mind you, that's my granddaddy. That ain't even wife, kids. So you telling me, all right, cool, so I quit. That was 2021. Bro, I made more money as an entrepreneur from 2021 to 2023 than I've ever made in my life. I'm talking about I cleared 1, cleared 2, cleared 3. Listen, real numbers.
Real numbers.
As an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
This is what happened. I made a bad investment in real estate. I trusted the wrong individuals because, this is something that people gonna go through. I'm in the real estate market, right? So I trusted the wrong individuals, bro. And he told me like, yo, my man good with construction. You know what he doing, da-da-da. I bought a property, I invested it. I had dude go in there, quote unquote, to be the carpenter and all that, contractor and all that. He gutted it. Killed me, bro. I took a $26,000 loss. From that $26,000, my wife pregnant. You know what I'm saying? We in Georgia, we gotta move.
Seen that, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. So back against the wall, it's getting crazy.
It's getting ugly.
I did what most people do. I went back and got a job. You know what I'm saying? I'm a husband, I'm a father. I
gotta do this.
I gotta, that's what I was thinking. That was my paradigm. And if I made 100 there before, I could, you know what I'm saying? Do it again.
I'm back.
I'm back, baby. So I stepped back in there. Hey, man, they was happy to see your good old employee on me.
Oh, good old boy.
You understand me? They promoted me in like 3 to 4 months, bro. Went from a agent to now I'm a supervisor. When I became a supervisor, now I'm orchestrating 60 agents. They putting all this pressure on me to have all of these people selling all day. I got fat. I went bald. I was stressed, depressed. I was taking antidepressants. That job was sucking my life away, bro. My life away slowly, bro. I was miserable, crying. You know what I'm saying? Wifey like, yo, you know, she like, you know, and I could see it in my wife's face. Big shout out to you, Queen. I love you so much. She like, yo, I don't want you to go through this.
Wow.
I don't want you to go through this. I know you're doing this for us, but I don't want you to go through this. But I told my wife, I said, yo, I could feel it. I'm not gonna be there long. So let's fast forward, right?
Let's fast forward.
So now I got fired because of running my credit repair business while at the job.
Really?
So yeah, so very, very simple. So on the laptop that I'm using, I'm not allowed to do anything else but the job. It's my personal laptop, but I can't do personal stuff on it. So when I say doing credit, it would be, let me check to see if my client's report updated. I'm not actually doing the work on the computer, but I can pull it up and check it. You know what I'm saying? So doing that, somebody on like the team, one of the agents got mad at me, you know, for doing what a supervisor do, and she went behind my back and told on me. You feel me? So when they came to me and investigated, there was no warning. There was no, you know, write-up. I'd never been written up my entire time. They just was like, yeah, we're gonna part ways from you. You know what I'm saying? And I just walked out.
We're gonna go ahead and separate.
That was, yeah, that's exactly it. We decided to separate. That was literally September 29th, 2024. And that's when things was really crazy. My wife's birthday, October 1st. It was live. You understand me? But bro, I swear to God, I went on a journey. I went on a journey to find myself. With all that weight I gained, couldn't fit my clothes, busting out my suits, bro. It was bad, bro.
Yeah.
And I said, yo, I got a phone call. Big shout out to you, Reese. You knew I was gonna shout you out. I got a phone call from my man, bro. And he was like, yo, I don't know what's going on with you, but I got this opportunity for you that I think you need to check out. Now, D, I'm already going through what I got fired. I'm just like, my mind is kind of too warped.
Yeah, let's talk about these scooters.
Yes. Yes.
You the second person to tell me about these scooters. And this is my man, like, who told me about the scooters, right? You know what I'm saying? He was like, bro, it's passive income, bro. It's a one-time investment. You need to do this, right? He not, you know what I mean, like some fly-by-night dude. Like, we talk regular. He was like, bro, you need to do this. I'm like, scooters?
Yeah, bro.
And when you hear scooters and somebody say scooters,
yeah, bro, it's hard to connect.
It's hard, man.
Hard
like, help me, son. Help me with these scooters. Yo.
It's so crazy because you see how the conversation. But yo, all right. So I got the call from my man Big Reese. He like, yo, I got this situation. I know you would like. You got to check it out. So initially, I'm already going through these different things in my life, and I'm feeling at the time that everything that's happening is happening for a reason.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. So I jumped onto the opportunity with him. He set me up with a opportunity to see what it was like. And so let me just say this, bro. It was unbelievable, right? This is the entire business model in one sentence.
Yeah.
You have the company that's in China that creates the scooters. You sponsor the scooters. So now you have 8 scooters that you sponsored by your investment. And then you have the consumer who rents the scooters every day and ride them.
Wow.
That's the business model.
And it's not going away, is what my man was telling me.
Man.
See, like, this is not a fly-by-night. This is what the culture is going to become and be. Is what he was trying to tell me.
Check this out. Anywhere in the major metro areas, New York, California, you're gonna see bikes and scooters. You're gonna see them, bro. They're everywhere. People can walk up to them, tap and pay, get the bike, and have it for the day. Not even bring it back to that drop station. Bring it to a whole nother drop station. You understand what I'm saying? And so when the scooters came into the play, I'm like, I see the scooters all the time. But what really got me was the fact that I got to invest one time. That was what got me. One-time investment that'll allow me to generate this kind of money, and we ain't even talk about money yet, but that kind of money from a one-time, that was the hardest thing for me to grab. And I think that's the hardest thing for anybody to grab, D. So let's say this. Now that you know the business model, let's look at the structure of how you become an investor.
Right.
When we look at everything in our household, it says made in where?
China.
China, bro. We ain't making nothing out here.
It's not.
Come on, bro. So the thing is, we understand that it's made in China, but the problem is most of us don't know how to invest. We don't even know what it is like to be an investor. And so I tell people, like, you're spending that investment money every day. You just don't understand that it's an investment you're spending. I asked a brother of mine the other day, and big shout out to Jim Rohns. I got this from him. I said, how much does your TV cost? He got big old 75-inch. And he was like, oh, I caught that on sale Black Friday for like $500. I was like, no, your TV probably costing you $30,000 a year, bro. So every time you watch Power, every time you watching those shows, that's time away from your goals, right?
Yeah.
So the scooters is you being an investor to say, let my money work for me. So that if I want to watch this show, I know I got money working for me. You invest one time, you get these scooters. These scooters are running Monday through Friday from one click of a button, from any device that can go online. That's a phone, a laptop, a computer. And so when I joined, seeing that happening all around me, it's over 500,000 members right now. LSSC is no longer a secret, but it's like you've never heard of it. What are you talking about? Lightning Shared Scooter Company. Why I don't see any billboards? Why I don't see any ads on YouTube?
Yeah, why isn't it being marketed?
That's a great question. When was the last time you was watching a how-to video on YouTube and something popped up as an ad and you actually watched it and went and bought what they were selling?
That happens a lot, but I usually don't. Maybe once or twice. All
right, better question. When the last time you was driving and got to a red light and seen a big old billboard and said, I gotta buy that right now?
I don't do that.
Come on. That's a lot of advertising dollars that a company has to invest in that marketing strategy. So what this company decided was, why do that when we can get people like King Leo to go tell people, reward him and reward them for joining? Let me tell you how powerful it is. If I take out 20 people to any restaurant, the company reimburses me every dollar plus the gratuity. That's me sharing the information. If you look on my page, you'd see me taking people out all the time because the money ain't the issue. It's you understanding that it's available. So they like, look, you can have a party, a barbecue, you can do a concert. We just had a $20,000 event in New Jersey, bro. The company funds all of this. So it's like the only shock to our culture is that it's real. That's the only shock. So every person that joined my company and joined me and started seeing the money and that's making the money now is like, they're still shocked. Today is a monumental day for the team, bro, because we crossed over the 200,000 mark. So as a team, we make over 200,000 a year. You know what I mean? And me being the first person in the Columbia, South Carolina area to bring Team Sparta here, I got my wife to 5 figures in 30 days.
Listen, this is wild, bro. So this is what I'm saying to you, man, because it's not a very marketable thing, right? How do you get creative with having this conversation with people? Because even with you saying it right now, explaining it to me, I'm like 75% to the way of just go ahead and giving you the money.
Facts. Got to get you to the 100.
Right? You got to get me to the 100, right? Because I want to make this make sense for a lot of people.
For sure. No, these are great questions.
You know what I'm saying?
These are great questions, bro. These are great questions.
How are you getting creative with that? Because I know I'm not the only person that's 75.
No, you
and need that extra 25.
You absolutely right, man. It's true though. It's true. So first of all, let's think about this. So everything that I just spoke about with Spectrum, that's what I would call experience, right? So that experience, I've been a salesman my entire life, bro. I've been selling my entire life. You said salt to a cell, I said water to a well. You feel what I'm talking about?
Right.
All my life. So I said, okay, like you said, how do I get people to know that these scooters exist? How do I get people to know that this company is real? These were the questions that I had to answer before I even start telling anybody. So you ever seen that show Mythbusters?
Yeah.
I went on a mission. I went on a mission. The mission was, let me see if the money real. Let me see how long it take to get the money. Let me see if these stores that they say are located are actually there.
Right.
Let me go there. I actually went there, got on the scooters. I got an ad right now with me actually on the scooters. I'm like, man. And I cleared over $5,000 a month, right? In an entry. So then the question is, if I just checked off all of those myths, now it's how do I get you to believe it?
Right.
So it's two options. And some people are not gonna like this response. But it's the truth. So option number one is show off. Like that's option number one, bro.
Number one, I pull up in the Hellcat. I'm fresh, my haircut is
Come
fresh.
on, bro. Show off, bro.
Look.
Woo Chris like show off.
We at Chop House. What
Like,
you want?
That's option one. Or option two is give you an opportunity to see it happen for you. What does that mean? Some people don't have the income to make the investment right out the gate.
Right out of the way, yeah.
Right. And so I have the ability as a manager to say, yo, look,
You know what? I'm about to invest in you.
Yeah, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And I could put money in your pocket just for you to see what we really doing over here. And this is the sad part, D. I'm just let it be known. This is the sad part.
Let's talk about the sad part.
The sad part is after they experience it, they still don't believe. They still don't believe.
And they stop moving.
They stop moving. Cause see, I learned that when somebody sees you, they may see what you believe, but it doesn't help them see what they believe. If I gave you my glasses, you're not gonna have my sight, my guy.
There's no way.
So it's like, these are people that's like, I want passive income. I don't wanna work anymore. I'm tired of getting up every day.
And going to
This is your prayer. You go to church on Sunday, Lord.
And let the job kill you slow. So at the core of it, how is this different from prepaid legal, multi-level marketing? How is this different from the organizations and companies that people like you are not knowing and have functioned in at high levels? How is that? How is it different?
Yo, another great question. So here's why it's different. Those companies require monthly payments.
Travel business.
They all require monthly commitments. And you only get paid when you go bring in more people. You are getting paid from the scooters daily. That's the first difference.
Right.
Second difference is not a monthly commitment. So that's what differentiates between every other network marketing situation out there. And I'm not knocking anybody else's business.
That question was not a shot.
You know what I'm saying? Because I hear these are the things. Let's talk about the elephant in the room for a second.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of things about scams.
Right.
Ponzi's, schemes. Well, a lot of people don't realize that the true scam is still confused about money. Because if you give me 40 years of your life, and then I give you a percentage of what I've been taking for the rest of your life, and you 70-something years old still working at Walmart, and you don't think that's a scam?
A job is a scam, Ty.
Just over broke, bro. So it's like we gotta have compassion. Bible talks about, grace, right? So I don't blame these individuals, but I'm on a mission to inform them, bro. It don't gotta be like this. It don't have to be like this. So they say scam, they say Ponzi, they say these things, and I say, look, if you don't have the experience, don't judge it. You can look at all of my teammates, you can look at my success, you can see the pages, you could go to the events, but if you don't have it in you, just don't judge it. People don't understand by you judging somebody else, it stops your blessings.
Come on and talk about that, man.
It stops your blessings because we're living a life of depression and stress based off what we're consuming on social media.
Yeah.
Most people are just sitting there scrolling lifelessly away. And for every friend that they follow and every person that they follow that they see doing a little bit better than them, it pushes them deeper into their hole. And what they tend to do is get with other people that feel low and that vibration is the same. So that's what they call chilling. But anybody I'm around, we're building. I don't chill with anybody. I build with everybody. You feel what I'm saying?
Real quick, I know you're enjoying this content right now, but what I want you to understand is that if you're a business owner, artist, or entrepreneur, and you care about your business, I want to help you. I want to platform you. I want you to talk about what you're doing. Why? Because no one cares about what you're doing unless you make them care. All right, my name is Darius Dior. It's Thinking Kingdom Media. It's Thinking Kingdom. I have a production company and a content agency based here in Columbia, South Carolina, but I will travel to you. You just got to pay for it. However, I know it's important for you to show up for yourself. And I know you know that. And so I'm showing up for you to remind you, show up for yourself. All right, now back to this content. I want to say this to you, man. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust, right? And you know that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I'm even saying that to you.
Yeah.
I just want to remind people, right?
Yeah.
And you give me the energy that says, I know you, I like you, and I trust you.
Right.
You have the ability to go work for anybody right now. You got the kind of resume that, you know, you could do that.
Yeah.
Tell me why, like, what's your vision right now and your plan with everything that you're doing? And I know that's a huge question to ask, and you can go anywhere with that. So I'm gonna just kind of give you perspective from my standpoint.
Yeah.
I want to see people win. I want to create WWW.
Right.
I win, you win, the consumer wins.
Facts.
Right? And I want to add to that and lead with contributing with what I can to create that space. Like, if you gave me $1 billion right now, I know that something diabolical is happening for me to keep that billion.
For sure.
Right? So I'm not even really interested in being a gazillionaire.
Right.
I just want to be effective in my gift and pace. Right, myself, and be able to do things because I feel like the Lord is leading me to do it.
Right, bro.
So when people talk about, people think about what you do and what you bring to the table, you know, what do you want people to feel about where you're going and what you're doing and why you're doing it?
Yo, man, that almost got emotional. Pardon self.
Go ahead.
Real, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
My mom's, big shout out to my mom's, Latanya Baskerville. She wrote a book called No Matter What. It's on all platforms. You can look it up, No Matter What.
Shout out to Mom Dukes.
Mom's wrote a book, man.
Yeah.
My mom's she's celebrating 26 years of clean time. You know what I mean? Never relapse or nothing. I say that because it's because of my mom's, boy. Super mama's, boy. You know what I mean? She kept me under the wing. We went through our trials, but what she showed me was what was possible.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Once I seen what was possible through her, it was already chosen for me. I'm the firstborn. I'm the oldest. You know what that means? You feel me? It's
you
a calling on me. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So when you say, yo, what's your overall vision? What's the goal?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm going to be the first generation millionaire in the family. I'm going to change the lives of millions of people by just informing them. I just want to inform you. That's going to be my new tag. Like, now you're informed.
Now you know.
Now you know, bro. Because see, people say if you knew better, you would do better. But that's a lie. And it's a lie that we've been told for so long. A lot of people know how to do better, brother, but they still choose not to, bro. We talking about addicts, gamblers, everybody, bro. You trying to get your body right. You eating the wrong stuff. You know that McDonald's ain't good for you.
You know that ice cream
Come
is
on.
sad.
You know binge watching Netflix 12 hours is not good for you. But you still choose to do it. So instead of me saying if you knew better, you would do better, I say you just misinformed. And as soon as you get informed, you're going to change internally, which is going to reflect a different life for you.
Yeah.
And if that's all I could do, I serve my purpose here on this earth.
Man.
You know what I mean? And you know, I wanted to talk about this too. Like, people don't know I'm an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. I just seen the joint you put out recently, man. You financially breaking it down in the bars, man.
I appreciate it.
Let's talk about that real quick, because I know you said, you know, something about that the other day. I never really consumed your art on streaming platforms and nothing like that. But talk about your artistry, man, and you as an artist, man.
Freshie the Fly Guy, man. You know what I'm saying? First of all, Fly Guy mean first love yourself, God understands you. You know what I'm saying? That's what Fly Guy mean, bro. And I had the same problem that a lot of artists have coming up. Am I good enough?
Yeah, am I nice enough?
Am I nice enough? Are they gonna like me? Am I young enough, right? I'm kind of older now.
Yeah, like,
I got some grades.
Should I still be rapping right now?
You feel me? And so that was the challenge. And I got music for days. But everybody like, you the credit dude. Like, you know what I mean? Now you the scooter dude. Like,
what?
Man, let me tell you something, bro. God said this is the season of being fearless. And it's time for you to let the world know what I've given you. Because what you have is not yours. What you have was given to you. And we could take that as far back as you want to.
You a tree, man.
You understand me? We could take it back as far. He gave him Eve. You understand
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying? He gave him a commandment too. The first commandment was not from Moses. The first commandment was what? To tend to the garden.
Yeah.
Manage the garden.
Yeah,
You
man.
understand what I'm
That's
saying?
your job. You gotta
That's
do
your
your
job. We are men. We are supposed to manage, bro.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to help people understand. Look, if I inform you, you won't let people mistreat you no more.
Nope.
I'm a father of 4, and I tell my 10-year-old daughter, like, listen, there's nothing more deadlier than in the world than a woman that knows her value.
Yep.
Because if you know your value and understand your value, you're untouchable. And that goes for men too. So I'm trying to teach people their value. Now that you know you're a consumer, your value just went up.
Yep.
It did. You don't look at it no more. Now that you know you could click a button and make that money on that scooter, your value went up. I'm a crack a joke real quick. Somebody had told me the other day, they was like, yo, I need you to do me a favor and I'll pay you. And I was like, how much? And they was like, yeah, I'll give you like $150 a week. A week? Bro, I make that in the book. Like, you chill,
What?
bro.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, bro. And it's all love, big shout out to him, but it's like your environment changed. People you talk to change. The stuff you eat changed. The car you drive changed. Dude, the cologne you wear changed. And when that start happening, you want to share it. You want to share it, bro. You like, yo, bro, especially when you get this call, my credit is low. My job is not paying me enough. Help me, Leo. And I'm like, yo, all right, while I'm working on your credit, here's another way to make some more money. And that's where it gets confusing at. Like, I ain't used to that.
Yeah, living in the age of information, man, and even as an artist, I'm I do content, I do film and photography. I'm also an artist. I rap. But I'm so much more than that, right? So multi-talented, so multifaceted. Then you got the weight of being a father. Then you got the weight of being a husband, right? You got to show up, right? And you got to balance this stuff, right? And so, in this segment, man, I want you to keep those things in mind because you helping me and so many other people, man, men and women, man, especially the ones that are entrepreneurs and artists, man. What I like to do is ask people, what do you want people to know right away? They right there.
Yeah.
Right? Look right at them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. That's deep. That's deep.
And tell them what you want them to know right now. And the second
deep.
part of that is, what do you want them to do right this second?
Yeah.
Be it patronize you, patronize somebody else.
Right.
We like you, we want to pay you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you want us to know and what do you want us to do?
That's a great question. You know I'm always give you love for those questions. Your questions are phenomenal. So what I want y'all to know is that, number one, I'm just like you. I come from humble beginnings, but I just decided to think a little bit different. And by doing so, that opened up so many more doors for me. So if that did that for me, I believe that it could do it for you. So when you ask me what I want people to do, I want people to tap into my world. By tapping into my world, that could be through social media, that could be through going to getyourscooters.com. Find a way to get in contact with me. I don't care if it's through email, so we can build. See, I don't want you to just become a follower and just be a fan and like and communicate. Let's talk, let's vibe. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be at an event, you see some flyers dropping, pop out, because I'm more open to giving than looking to receive anything. I turn down more clients than I actually take on new clients. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I want a personal relationship with you. Because I'm gonna be honest, this is what I call my infancy. This is just the beginning.
Startup.
This is just the beginning, right? So it's like, tap in with me, get down on the ground floor.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm just like you. That's what I want them to know, bro.
Man, listen, man, that's tremendous, man. And like I said, I usually ask that last, man, and really what I want to ask in addition to that is, are you, and this, I'm struggling with this. This is why I'm asking you this, right? I have to find time to be a dad on a daily basis, right? I gotta find time and create space to be a more excellent husband every day, right? Even with it being the words that I say, with the wisdom that I might, or advice I might give my son, but it's still hard, right? It's still hard to be 100% present all the time, feet right where you at. Then you got to go to the gym. I worked out this morning, right?
Bro. Yeah.
And being consistent with that, man. I know I'm not the only entrepreneur that struggles with balancing family, health.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And relationships,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
How are you doing that? And that's the last question I'm gonna ask, brother.
Listen,
You know what I'm
phenomenal
saying?
question, right? Phenomenal question. So what I've done is I've learned to incorporate my family in my day-to-day activity. That was the cheat code to it, bro. So for example, anybody that know me know my wife, she's into what I'm into. So if I'm doing content creation, I'm like, come on, babe, you do a video. Let me record you. Let me edit you up. Come on, let's put a slow-mo on it. You feel me? How many views you got? So she's incorporated in that.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel isolated. There's a game by Robert Kiyosaki called Cash Flow. You gotta get it, okay?
Gotta get it.
Gotta get it. Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki. Forget
He
Monopoly.
talks about the stocks and all of that.
Dude, forget Monopoly, sorry, trouble. Get Cash Flow for your family. I let my kids play Cash Flow with me, okay? My daughter is 10. Again, she's been on an honor roll for the last 5 years, bro. A and B honor roll because of what
Cash flow. I'm buying that.
Bro, it's a mandatory purchase, okay? Big shout out to Robert Kiyosaki. Cash flow changed my entire dynamic when it came to what investing was, what real estate is, like for a 10-year-old to know what net profits is, and the stock options and mutual funds. This is a game.
This is a game.
This is a game. So Dad, I bought stocks before you. I'm like, man.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. So now it's like, as for my success, I gotta go. I can tell you how successful you're gonna be based on what's on your calendar. So if there's no dates on your calendar, no meetings, no appointments, then I can tell what's in your bank account too. So for my kids, I got this app on my phone. I don't want to keep shouting out all these people I ain't endorsed yet. But it's an app on my phone that reminds me when it's time to do that block of whatever it is. So I go, okay, kids is in school. My daughter gets from school. Most parents say, how is school? Do you ask your son that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And we think that's an innocent question. But the problem with that question is it doesn't create the idea for the kid to tell you what really happened. It always gives you the exact same response. It was good. It was good. So I stopped asking my kid that.
Yeah, so you gotta ask the what question.
I gotta ask, what made you laugh today? Who made you upset today? What did you learn today? And so when I get into those questions, now she gotta think a little bit more. And it can't just be, oh, it was good, Dad. So it changed our conversation. And so with those block times, okay, after school, she knows to do her homework, she knows to clean up, things like that. Okay, so from 3 to 4 is daddy-daughter time. She wants to be an influencer, bro. She wants to get on YouTube. She wants to do videos.
Wants to do it.
So I told her, I said, you have 1 or 2 options. You can get on the camera or be behind the camera. Which one you want to do?
Which one?
My daughter said, I want to do both.
Wow.
So I asked, I said, which one do you think is more valuable? Being in front of it or behind it?
Ooh.
This is a 10-year-old. This is what she said, no lie. She said being behind it, because without you, there wouldn't be nobody in front of it.
Come on!
You understand me? You understand me, bro?
Come on!
So my daughter is learning pixels and learning SD cards because she's like, Dad, I want to know what's going on behind the scenes.
Basic, come on.
So it's like, to answer that question, you got to incorporate them, incorporate them.
Yeah, man, what I found that has worked for me to help me improve in this space is, and this is for you as well, have family meetings with your family. Don't let a amount of time go by where y'all don't just sit down. There's nothing going on, nothing that has to be done or required. And it's just y'all minds and y'all hearts, right? And you just ask, man, how am I doing as a father?
Facts.
Right? How am I doing as a wife? How am I doing as a son?
Yeah.
Mom and dad, how am I doing as a daughter? Right? And opening the door for transparency and moving away from the generational teaching of a child is seen and not heard, right? Happy wife, happy life, right?
Those are the same things. Those are paradigms.
Those paradigms,
bro.
We gotta shift how we think about family and how we do family. And if you're having a hard time, if you're struggling with it, just communicating to them that you are struggling with whatever it is.
Yeah, bro.
Right? Don't silently struggle with things. Let them know that you're pursuing them as you're after God's own heart. And, I want to encourage all fathers, all mothers, all parents out there, and all children, man. Be family.
For sure.
And being family is doing family, man. And my brother Ty.
Listen, Leo in the building.
Leo, King Leo's in the building, man.
Yeah.
I thank you for coming here, bro.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? You definitely built me up, built a lot of people up that's gonna consume this content, man.
Good, man.
It's Darius Dior, it's Think Kingdom Media. Peace and grace. We out of here.
Peace out, y'all.